Hello everybody and welcome to another Lift Me Up video. This video is for your spinner card, which is pretty neat actually. I haven't spun it. Hang on, let me just get the spinny bit going so that you can see, because it's really nice. I like this one of my favourites. Well, they're all my favourites actually, because I just love this stamp set. But you have got fairly standardish outside. When you open it, however, it does that. You've got a balloon spinning in the middle. Neat, huh? Right, let me show you how you're going to make this one. First thing you're going to need in your packet, you will find all your bits and bobs. Let me just put that there. Yeah, move that away from it. You are going to need a Whisper White card base. Now make sure you use the thick card if you're making one of these, in addition to the kit I've given you, because you need it to be stable, otherwise your card ends up all floppy. All right, so you're going to need a piece of a card base, rather, Whisper White card base. That's 5 inches by 7 inches. You've also got in your little packet of goodies a panel of Night of Navy. Now that measures 4.5 by 6.5. You've got Peekaboo Peach measuring 4.25 by 6.25. You've also got 2 pieces of Whisper White. Now this is just their standard Whisper White, and these measure 2.5 by 6.5. So 2 of those. A plain white panel measuring 4 inches by 6 inches, and you've also going to have, which, excuse all my post-it notes on it, you'll see why in a minute. This one is mint macaron, so this is going with the darker colour, and this is, what's this? This is 9.5 inches across the bottom by 6 3/4 inches down the side. Now I'm going to come back to this piece in a minute. We're going to do the other bits first, and I'll explain my post-it notes. Okay, first things first then. Card base. Grab your piece of Night of Navy and your adhesive and just stick, whoop, what's going on with my snail? It's all going a bit wibbly wobbly there. Stick your Night of Navy panel to the front of your card. Make sure it's nice and central. She says, whoop, oh dear, I'll just put mine on completely squiffy. Come off. Oh, that was a proper wonky one, that one, wasn't it? Oh dear, I've done it again, look. It's because I'm trying not to get my head in the camera. Let's do it that way round. There we go, that's better. Right, so pop your Night of Navy panel on. Next thing you want to do is stamp, here's one I prepared earlier, stamp your white panel. Now this is your stamping that you're doing first of all. Okay, so we've got the sentiment in the bottom left hand corner, we've got some soft sky balloons, Peekaboo Peach balloon, and you've also got your die cut balloon. Now I've already stuck all my pieces onto the back of it, so you just need to assemble yours and stick all the pieces on the back, and then when you're done you need your dimensionals. Oh, sorry, leaning into the camera there. And just pop some dimensionals onto the back of your balloon. Now I actually want one on that little bit at the bottom, so I'm just gonna snip a little bit, whoop, off. Where'd it go? There it is. Because I want to make sure the little basket at the bottom stays lifted up. Right, so once you've got all your dimensionals on, take the backing off. Now remember, when you're stamping these cards, you don't need to be specific. If you want to follow exactly as I've done, go ahead. But you don't have to. You can sort of let your artistic flair take over. Right, now I'm going to pop that about there, I think. There we go, that's it. Now I'm going to stick this to my Peekaboo Peach panel. Whoa, still. I'm going to try not to stick it to my workspace surface. Hang on, if I rub it really quickly. Yes, it's come off good, because otherwise I'll be sticking everything where I don't want to stick it. Right, so centre that on there. Oh, it's stuck to my finger. I'm not doing very well today with the sticky stuff, am I? Never mind. Right, stick that on there, turn it over, put some more dimensionals on the back so that it all stands up nicely, but don't actually stick it on just yet. Okay, we're just getting ready for stage 2. So put your dimensionals on the back and then put that to one side. Now this panel here that's got all my post-it notes on, you need to score this if you are buying the videos. If you bought the kit, I've scored it for you, so you don't need to worry about scoring. But if you're scoring it yourself, you need to be scoring at 2 3/4, 4 3/4 and 6 3/4. So 2 3/4, 4 3/4, 6 3/4. Then you need the largest oval from the layering ovals. Center it, cut a hole in the middle. All right. Now the post-it notes. I'm hoping you can see that I've stamped "Sending Smiles Across the Miles" all over it, but only on that center bit, hence the post-it notes. And I've stamped it in the soft sky, so it's very, very subtle, but you can still see it. And then if I peel off my post-it notes, you can see it's just that middle panel that's got the stamping on. Post-it notes are definitely a crafter's best friend. I'll tell you that for nothing. Right, so that's our center panel. Now you're going to need your 2 strips. Okay, I've already stamped one, just need to stamp the other one. And these are going to go on these panels here at the side. Okay, so I've stamped that one, so let me just pop that one up in place. Now I've done this to send the smiles across the miles. Obviously you could do whatever sentiment you like. It doesn't have to be sending smiles across the miles, because all the sentiments match brilliantly with this whole set. Oops. They all look lovely. Now let's just stamp this other panel, shall we? So I'm going to be using Watermelon Wonder and Night of Navy and Soft Sky. Now I want, from my stamp set, first thing I'm going to do is my big balloon. So let's pop that one on first. Move those out of the way for a minute. Whoops. Now I'm going to put my balloon just slightly to the side, so it just hangs off the side. I quite like it when things hang off the side a little bit. I think it just gives it a bit more of a like dimensional effect, I suppose. Bit of a wonky balloon, but hey, balloons don't always fly straight, do they? Especially not in my world. Right, let's do, actually let me close that before I dunk my hand in it. Let's do our Night of Navy one. There's a little Night of Navy one. Now I'm going to put a couple on of this one. Now again, I'm going to go off the edge just slightly on one, and then more in the middle on the other one, so kind of at an angle. And now I want to do some, oh, let me just clean that stamp off. Sorry, I've got my Stampin' Scrub at the side. Look, da, da, da. I just need to clean the stamp off because I need the block. If I try and take it off before I've cleaned it, I'm going to get in a right inky old mess. Oh good, I've just put my hand in the Soft Sky. Oh, it's not so bad. At least it was Soft Sky and not one of the other really dark colours. Right, so let's start with the bigger balloon. When you're doing stamping, so that you're actually stamping a background, you always do the bigger ones first and then go to the smaller ones. Hence I did the largest balloon first, then the smaller balloons. Now I'm going to do the biggest of the clouds, which is roughly the same size as the balloons, and then I'll do the smaller balloon. All right, so just random, anywhere you like. Yeah, I think that will do. And let's get the smaller one, because you see with the smaller ones, once you've done your big ones, you can use the smaller ones to fill in the gaps, because obviously being small, they can fit in those little gaps that you've left behind, like that. There we go. Right, let me just clean those off, because I'm going to need those two again in just a minute. Right, let's shut that. We'll stick this panel on. There we go. Yeah, that's it. So that one's stuck on nicely as well. Now, for your folding, you want to fold back on yourself first off. Grab a bone folder. There's mine gone. There it is. And just smoosh them down. And these panels are actually going to go over. So you've kind of got a concertina effect going on. Make sure they're nice and smooth down. All right, so if you can see, we've got that going on. Okay. Now, get your larger balloons, which you need to have stamped in Peekaboo Peach, and back to back. Where's my glue? Do you know what? The children have been in here in my craft room last night, and everything has moved. Nothing is where I left it. I was all nice and tidy, ready for filming for once. Not something I do very often. Be nice and tidy, I know, but I was all nice and tidy, and they've come in and messed everything up. Right, put some adhesive on the back of one of your balloons. Get a strip just over 7 inches, about 8 inches of baker's twine. Whoops. And just lay it in the middle of that balloon. And then get your other balloon and stick it together. So you sandwich that baker's twine in between your balloons. Try and keep it straight. That was more of a reminder to me than you, because if it's not straight, you'll have wonky spinning going on. Right, now once that's nice and stuck, come on, stick down. I hope I put enough glue in there. Yeah, I did. So you've actually got your balloon. Can you see how it will spin? Yeah? Right, next thing you want is some tape. Now I'm just going to use standard sellotape, nothing fancy. Turn your card over. Whoop. Hang on, let me just pull some tape off of this. In a minute, then I can talk to you. Because I'm one of those that rips tape with my teeth. Right, so pop your balloon in the middle. So you've turned your card over, your backing over. Pop it in the middle. And then if you hold it nice and tight, just on that crease, okay, pop some tape over it. Now obviously you don't have to use sellotape, you could use any tape, but you will see it if you're not careful. So try and use a clear tape, all right? So stuck on one end, make sure it's fairly taut. Don't pull it too hard, otherwise you'll be pulling it out, but fairly taut, and then stick down on the other end. Make sure your tape is nicely stuck on that baker's twine, because if you have it too loose on the baker's twine, you're not going to get the spinning effect properly. Okay, once you've stuck it down, grab some scissors and just trim off your ends that you don't need. Get them out of the way. Okay, so we've now done our center of our spin. Go back to your card base that you had and open it up. And what we're going to do now, if I just lay that on there, you can see obviously the back behind the balloon. I'm going to stamp some clouds there just to make it look effective. So soft sky again. Now remember, you start with the biggest stamp, and we're just going to just pop some random clouds on. Now obviously you're not going to see all of these clouds, however you are going to see some of them. So don't go too close to the edge, but make sure you've got some at least in the middle somewhere, because that's obviously where the opening is. Pop in your little ones again. Whoops, oh dear, that was a bad stamp, wasn't it? Pop some little ones in your gaps. Remember, it's going to be seen through the hole, so make sure you've got a good amount there to make it look effective. And now we can actually stick the centre of our card on. So start off, just put your adhesive on one side. All right, you don't want it on both sides to begin with, just on the one side. Pop a bit in the middle because I want to make sure it's held nice and firmly. And then line it up just on the one side first of all, remember. Make sure it's straight, and then just stick that panel down. Okay, now you can see when you lay this down, it's very short on one end. That's fine, don't worry about it. Very big rather on one end and short on the other end. Don't worry. The reason it's like that is so that when you actually open the card, you see it doesn't open flat, because if it opened flat you wouldn't be able to get your spinning bit, would you? All right, so just leave it, and that's how it's going to sit. Okay, so we've got one side stuck down. Now I've got the one side down and I've lined that edge up. Now I can do the other edge. So I'm going to pop some adhesive on there. And this time, I'm going to fold the, whoop, mind your balloon, fold it down, fold your flap over, all right, hold it down, and then just close the card and firm it down. Okay, and then when you open it, you're in the right place. All right, so now we've done that bit, we can now stick our front panel on. So take off the backings of your dimensionals, except for two. Leave two of them on, because we are going to use those two to line the front up. See, we can slide about with that bit, but if we had the other end on, we can't slide about. So just line up where you need it to be. Make sure you're straight. Lay it down, and then just put your fingers in and peel the back off of the other ones. And there you have your spinner card. So right on the back of your card, whoops, before you put it in the envelope, twist your centre balloon up, okay, and then hold the balloon and close the card, and then pop it in the envelope. And then when the recipient opens it, it's going to spin for them. All right, I hope you like that one. Come back very soon and you can make your next Lift Me Up card. Thanks for watching.